Hi, this is Carrie Schell from On Point Quilter. This is part 2 of our video in creating an edge-to-edge design for a kite quilt. And in this video, we're going to cover how to take the kite block from the first video and turn it into an edge-to-edge design. Now that we've designed a kite motif, I want to set up a work table so that we can create an interlocking design using a series of these kites. So I'm going to go to File, New, and I want a quilting file, so I'm going to click OK. And for this, I want to first of all turn on the grid. So that's the icon up on the top here. And then I want to go to Tools and Preferences, and I want to go to the Grid tab, and I want to do spacings, horizontal and vertical, both set at 1 inch, and major grid lines every 5 lines. So that would be 5 inches, and I'm going to press OK. Now I'm going to start at 0, 0. And I'm going to use the 3-pointed arc tool, and so my first click will be at 0, 0, and my next click is going to be, I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit here, but I want to go to the 10 and the 2. So over 2 major grids up to basically minor grids. And then I'm going to scroll over on using the navigation and go over to and back to that 0 on the vertical. And then I'm going to scroll over more and go down 2 and over 2 major, and then over 2 and back to the 0, 0. And that's going to be the top line. And if I press the space bar, you should be able to see that. Now I want to draw a line vertically as well. Okay, I'm going to pick up the 3-pointed arc tool. I'm going to start at the 40, 0. I'm going to go over to the 38, so over 2 and to the 10. And then I'm going to go down 2 major grids and back to the 40 there. And I will press the Q key to finish that off as well. Now I'm going to take this last one and I'm going to do a Control C and Control V, which made a duplicate, and I'm going to drag that to the left. And the one on the top, I'm going to Control C and Control V, and I'm going to drag it to the bottom. Now, this is really creating an interlocking template that I can work with. So notice that the curves on the top match the curves on the bottom, the curves on the left match the curves on the right. So to complete that, I'm just going to use the Reshape tool and the T key, and I'm just going to connect up all 4 of my shapes. And at the last one, I'm just going to press the Q key, and then I'm going to close that shape. So I now have a shape that I can work with, and I'm going to turn off the grid. Go back to my kite motif, and I'm going to select it, do a Control C. I'm going to go to my new design page and do a Control V. And I'm just going to bring it down, and I'm going to use that little circle in the corner and rotate it. And I just want to place the design somewhere that I can potentially work with. And I'm going to do some additional duplications. This one, I'm just going to flip that top to bottom. And again, I'm just trying to play with some different items here. I'm going to flip that, mirror image it, and rotate it, and move in place, and I'll do another one, and I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees. I think for that one I'm going to mirror image that as well, and then maybe do a little bit more of a rotation there to fill in that corner. And then I think I can fit one more in. And I may fit that one in there. So, and I made that a little bit larger. So in essence, I've got a series of kites that are fitting into my template here. Now I need to fill in the remaining spaces. And the way I chose to do that is to draw some clouds. And I'm going to go ahead and use my 3-point arc tool to do this. And eventually what I'm going to do is connect up all of the pieces. So if I start down here and just do 1, 2, 3, and again, I'm really just trying to fill in spaces at this point. And I can play with these a little bit later, but and I can do some reshaping. But my goal is to do something that sort of resembles clouds, but at the end of the day that will end up connecting all of my pieces together. Okay, I went ahead and drafted all of my clouds and got them close, and I spent a fair amount of time playing with some renditions to get them basically to fit. And I didn't think you wanted to watch a 20-minute video of me doing that. So I spliced that out, did a little bit of repositioning of the kites, but now I'm ready to connect everything up. And so I'm going to use my reshape key. I'm going to start at the beginning here. So this will be my first kite, and I'll depress the T key on my computer and connect to the first set of clouds. I'm in here a little bit more to see where I'm at. Yeah, I got a lot going on down there. So I'll do my reshape key, make sure I've got that end point, connect up with the T key. There, it's all connected. Now I'm going to, since I'm down here and I'm seeing things are not connected, I'm going to make sure my snap is on, and I'm going to make sure all of those pieces are lining up there. Okay, and I'm going to just turn my navigator back on so I can do my zooming there. And I'll zoom out, and now you can see I've got the one shape done. I'm going to use my T key again to do the next one. And I think it's easier to probably do it from that end. And now to find my new end is down here. So I can connect that up with the next kite. And I'm going to connect that. And then I'm up at the top here, connect that with the next kite again, and now I will connect up the next set of clouds, and then this one will go to the kite as well. I think I've got the whole one done. I'm going to turn my snaps off so this isn't quite as distracting, and then use the select tool. Now you'll notice that I didn't completely stay within my interlocking template. However, when I did that, I made sure that if I went over here, I had an equal space at the bottom. Same way with here, even though I went over a bit there, I still had a space there. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hide my template, and the true test of whether this works or not is once I select my design, I'm going to use the repeats on the design, and I'm going to look, and it looks like there's about 4 that pop up, and I do need to get them because they're interlocking. They don't tie close together, but we can play with some numbers, and I think it's 2.5 we'll get that, and I think it's might be 2.5 on the one down below as well. Oh, went the wrong direction. Minus 2.5. And if I pull this repeat design, I can get a closer view to see if things are lining up pretty well. And actually, they are in this situation. So now I have a very good interlocking edge-to-edge design. And I can press OK if I want to take a closer look at it on my screen. Obviously, if I'm bringing it over into my longarm system, I'm just going to bring one of the repeats in, but I want to test it ahead of time to make sure if I need to do any transitions or any moving of things that I can do so. And I can tell on these bottom 2, I probably put them a little bit too close, so I'm going to leave a little more space there because I think that's a little more visually appealing. But generally, I think this interlocks nicely and works well. One last thing I want to do is check that my starts and my stop points for each of the designs are at the same plane. And so I added a guideline. I'm going to go ahead and delete 3 of the artworks. We know they interlock nicely. I don't need that any longer. And now I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on the starting point. And I'm going to make sure, I've got Snap to Guidelines turned on. I'm going to make sure this point matches up with the guideline. I'm then going to go to the far right, and I'm going to do the same with the end. And I had to move that down a little bit so that everything matched up. And so I know then that everything will connect up when I do the repeats on my longarm system. I hope I've inspired you to create your own edge-to-edge design. Here I have superimposed my ending edge-to-edge kite design on my Let It Fly quilt, and I look forward to seeing it all stitched out. For additional tips and videos, please subscribe to my weekly newsletter at www.onpointquilter.com.